using my button. It worked. My button.
I have like tummy trouble right now. Why'd that person cut that person off?
Oh, tummy trouble. Got it. That's about.
Oh no.
I know, guys, it's rough.
I'm pretty confident that it's not me.
It is you.
No, he went last time.
Right. That's why I know, because I at least remember that I went
Oh,
last time.
so it's me.
It probably is you. Yeah.
I
Yay.
hate being first, guys. Okay. Let me compose my thoughts. I think they are so fucking cute, and the line that like stands out to me the most is like, "You buffoon!" Like when Blythe had to let him know, like, "Oh I murdered my dad." I don't know, like. Fate is just so fucking funny to me. The whole charade scene was fucking hilarious. How upset that man was over having to play charades. Like, I thought that was so funny. Like, I'm really, really enjoying their relationship and how it's like building and everything that's happening. I just think it's so fucking funny. I've come to love Blythe. I think she's fucking hilarious. I think she's, it's just really cute. Like the whole banter between them is just so funny. Like I like Fate more than I like Death. And I liked Death, but I like Fate so much more. I just think he's so fucking funny. He's so dramatic. They are literally perfect for each other. Like if you think about it, like their two personalities are just so fucking funny, and I'm enjoying it so much. I just want to keep reading. Yeah, the whole thing when he called her a buffoon like made me laugh so fucking loud. I was just like, what the hell? And the whole like charade scene too. Also, like the way this author like imagined Verona was kind of incredible too. Like like the whole scenery and like the thought of it and everything was just incredible to me. It was just so nice. I really appreciate the whole like Elijah thing and how dedicated Blythe is to her father and her family, especially with everything that they've gone through.
Yeah.
And how she feels about Signa. I do wish there was a little bit more about Signa, but maybe we'll get there later. I do think it was fucking funny how that bitch was being sexy with her toe. And it's always funny that they talk about that shit back then because like when they're trying to like, turn them on, like they just lift. And if you think about like
Show some ankle.
clothing in that era, it's just like, okay, girl, yeah, you lift that ruffled fucking floor length gown and show that ankle. Like, yeah. Yeah, she's getting sexy up this bitch. You know what I mean? So I thought that was so funny, the whole like seduction scene. I'm so confused though about the ghost because if she is life, why is she seeing a ghost of herself? Is it? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. That thing was a little bit like confusing to me. But other than that, I have thoughts after. Of course, you guys go first. So. But that's where I'm at.
Cool.
I'm curious to see how Blythe is gonna figure it out though. Like obviously she's having like these thoughts and these memories, and I feel like Fate should kind of know too. Like, but who knows? I digress. Anyways, that's where I'm at.
Cool. Do you want to go or should I go?
I can go. Before I go, could you just remind me where chapter 17 ended? Because I have a feeling I might have read a chapter or two more. So I don't want to like give anything away. So where did it end?
It ended when he found the mirror and he told her to stay the fuck away from him.
Okay. So I didn't read extra. That's good. Good.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good place to pause because a lot of.
It was a good place.
I just have one thing to say. Fun bed. Did I not call it as I laughed?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard when they mentioned that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is too funny. It was hilarious. But yeah, I feel like Julia too, like I like them. I like them better than Death and Signa. Like Signa who? Like she was good. But Blythe is so much funnier. She's so much, I don't know, she just gets under Faith's skin so good. And it's like a proper enemies to lovers sort of situation.
Yeah.
Usually when they try to pull that trope, it's like, the guy's already half in love with her, whatever. But this guy genuinely hates her. Like, he cannot stand her. And I love that so much. And maybe that makes me a sadist or whatever. But the names he calls, it's so funny. the food and you petulant child and all of that. It's so
Yeah.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
You
I
infernal
When
love
she
girl.
cut
That's probably my
herself
favorite.
and it healed, and he was just like, "You're so fucking dramatic," and she's like, "I'm gonna lose my hand. I need stitches." Like she was so fucking dramatic. It was so funny.
Yeah, and but also the transition between all of those names to Sweet Bry is also so cute. Like, oh, okay, it's
Yeah, it
getting
is, but like a briar patch is really thorny,
yeah, but he added the sweet part too.
so it makes it better. Yeah.
It's so cute. I love them so much. I don't want their banter to end. This relationship portion of it is so entertaining. I love it so much. Like Death and Signa were good too, but their relationship was inevitable. Like it happened. Like oh, there was no build
Yeah.
up, but this build up is so good. It's so entertaining. It's so funny and like it's so good. But yeah, I'm confused why she's being haunted by life, or maybe she's just seeing visions and it's not really a ghost. It's just fragments of her imagination. I kind of reasoned it out like that. Um,
That's
I
fair.
also like Elijah. He's like a super smart dad. Like he was
Yeah.
like, oh, my daughter's marrying this random person I've never even heard of, and this country doesn't even exist until now. But you know, at least he was questioning it. He was suspicious about it. So that part was like so much more realistic than him just being like, oh, she's marrying a rich guy. All my problems are taken care of now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like him for that. What else? Yeah, I just really
And the
like.
knife in her luggage when she gets married.
Yeah, the charades part was good, and when they called a truce and they were like still fighting it out, and she's like, "But we're on a truce." It was so good, so funny. I love it. I hope it continues like this because if it does, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna give this book 5 stars because I love it so
Oh
much.
my
I'm just so happy. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't want to call it too early. You know, we've been disappointed in the past.
Yeah, you
So,
never know.
so
Yeah. I also thought it was so fucking funny, like the scene where they were building out Verona, and she had like a whole little art. She was like, "I wanted like arts and paints," and he gave it to me, and like that whole scene too, where she became the unofficial director of it. I thought that was so funny.
yeah. I also like Wisteria, his home, where he opens the door and then another location. That's so much like Howl's Moving Castle,
Yeah,
the whole world. So that was
that's
super.
what I was thinking. I was thinking Howl's Moving Castle, now. I was like, oh hell yeah.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yep, I'm done.
Okay. Let's see. I think I'm like gonna be like pretty like squarely like rain on parade, but here's my take. Um yeah, I know. So like basically like and what's weird is I basically agree with everything you guys are saying. Everything you're saying is true, and I see that as well. But to me now, this book is like squarely in like a it's going to be like a max 3 star unless something really
Oh,
wild changes. And so like basically the reason is because to me this is not a third book in the trilogy like at all. Like if I think about like the core story of like what was going on, this feels more like it was a duology and then they decided to make like a spin-off. Like this kind of feels like Nessa's story after Feyre's story because like it's literally like has like it's not that related to almost anything that was happening in the first books, and I really liked what was happening in the first books. If anything, like now I'm recognizing that maybe the reason I stepped from like 5 star to 4 star was because Signa and Death were waning and Blythe and Fate were like kind of ramping up. And I also like them. I think it's like cute. I think it's like, but like all of a sudden now I am like squarely like, oh, I am no longer the target audience here. Like I'm not like this is like not what I come to any story for basically. It's like fairly cute, but like if this is like because like right now like I would say like lore wise there's like almost none, especially like new. The door thing is kind of cool, but like almost everything that's happening was already set up in the first 2 books. This is literally like just a rom-com about some characters from the original story, and it makes total sense that you guys love that, but that's not why I'm here. you so yeah, I am mostly enjoying
God,
it. The
I've never
bickering
heard you be such a hater.
the
Yeah, that's
bickering is cool. I love all of like the old timey swears. Like I love using old timey swears myself, and they're always like dropping them on each other. That's cool. It's fun. Him like remaking Verena was kind of cool. It was interesting that how like it drained him so much. But yeah, I don't know. Like I loved the mystery. There's just no mystery anymore. I loved all of the macabre death stuff and all that whole side of the veil. We have nothing like that anymore.
Told you
I
he was
think
into necrophilia, Manel.
yeah, yeah, I guess so. And Fate, um Um, I mean, I don't have like I'm thinking of him not again like because I think immediately you guys are thinking like Fate. How is he as this part of the romantic couple? So like because I don't give a shit about that, like I'm thinking like Fate as like a I know Fate as like an interesting lore character. It's all right. Like there's pretty much just like a lot of gold thread while they banter. But in terms of like the cool magic stuff, there's a lot of gold thread happening. Uh yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm still like mostly enjoying it. I've much so adopted as we kind of have probably seen that I'm very much so on like Manel's like scale. So for me a 3-star is still a compliment. Like this isn't like I'm still like enjoying this book. It's just like I don't know. I don't know. Like it's got to bring something back from the original two for it to push up higher for me. If it remains as good as it is, it's a 3. Yeah.
I get that. I mean, we'll never find out what happened to Signa's parents, right? Because they're
Oh, I
basically
forgot
in the
about that.
background now.
Oh, wow.
I was gonna
Yeah.
ask
Well,
that. I felt like we were gonna find out
oh,
because it
because
got
she's
brought up.
yeah, and maybe what it's gonna be is like even though maybe so Signa's that's the thing. The mystery that Signa's solving right now, that's what I want to hear about. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's where I want to be. But I bet you what's gonna happen is like in like the third act of this book, she's just gonna show up and mention what she found, and there is no book. and we
Yeah.
then we go back to rom com. I bet you that's what's gonna happen. Because you're right. I don't think it would fit if all of a sudden they like go into that mystery mode. Even though like that would make me happy. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Fair.
Yeah. So
That's fair.
that's about where I'm at. Sorry to
I mean, you
disappoint
still sound
y'all.
like a hater, but
I
you're
I
fair.
I wish I
Okay, so
had I wish I had a
if
larger
if
vagina, but I do not.
if you read this as a standalone book, what would you rate it? If you
Probably
had no recollection of the first,
that's the thing. It would probably still be like a 3 cuz um maybe it would be a little bit better if it wasn't this like that's the thing like I can't do that standalone thing because if it was truly a standalone then in this book we would have been introduced to like all of the lore that there is, but we didn't. Like all of the interesting bits came in book 1 and 2 in my opinion, and this is just it's just snowballing from that instead of like improving that. Again, in terms of like the mystery and lore and all that stuff, it's just sort of like a rom-com inside of the universe, so it's like a spin-off. And so
yeah,
I don't know, I can't really unsee that because maybe it would be a little more interesting if I could credit to this book the idea of fate, but we knew the idea of fate all the way through the second book and nothing's really changed. Have we really learned that much more about him? I mean, like honestly, to me, like even like the opening of the doors where they led to different places, it is cool and it is very Howl's Moving Castle. But like, am I the only one that like didn't you know that was coming kind of the whole time based on how the the house worked? Like, it didn't surprise me. Sorry, I know I'm not allowed to say these things, but
Um,
it's like of course that's how it travels. That it's like I don't know. It made sense.
you told your nieces and nephews about Santa, didn't you?
Hmm. I don't know if I ever screwed up a child like that. I don't think so. Although
Where's the fun?
I was one of those kids that grew up not believing in Santa.
Oh, noted.
I was just taught about Christianity and Jesus growing up.
Oh,
But I don't but I don't
fair.
but I always perpetuate the lie to littles. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
see, I did not really think of this book that much, as much as you have thought of it, because
Sure.
for me, it's like all vibes, no thoughts, because
Yeah.
the romance
And
is so
I'm
good.
not gonna
Yeah.
lie, like as it's been
Yeah.
going, in my mind I was like, oh man, Julia and Manel are in hog heaven right now. Like they're eating good. I knew
Hell
because
yeah, we
I
are.
can tell, like, in terms of all of that, it is quite good. Like, I recognize all of those things. But if one of those movies is on TV and I sit down and read it or and watch it, it has a max star for me, unless it does something
Yeah.
special.
This book makes me feel like I think it was 2 years ago I read this romance book. I didn't know it at the time, but it was a Christian romance book, and it had
mm,
zero smart but 100% romance, and it just made me feel like I was 16 again reading those uber romancy books for the first time. I was like, this is so cute, and this
Yeah.
is how it makes me feel. So that's why I love it so much. It's just
huh?
zero smart, all romance. But I don't know. We've only read 50% of the book, so maybe she's going to introduce some smart. But so far, she hasn't. Though it has been not closed door exactly, but the door is just slightly ajar, not fully open. So
That's
I'm
true.
on
Like,
board
even
with
with
that.
her and
I
death
will
in
say
the last books,
if the smut comes, it's gonna be hot smut by the passion described already.
Yeah,
because
with
they
the
just hate
anger
each
and
other so
stuff,
much.
like that
Yeah,
alone was pretty good. So yeah,
Yeah,
you're
and
right.
especially the way they describe death. I mean, fate.
Faith?
fate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I think yeah, like Manel said, it's a good enemies to lovers. Especially because that man still thinks Signa is life.
Yeah. Yeah, poor
Like
guy.
he was still like all fucking pent up when he went and saw Signa when Blythe went over there.
Yeah. It's kind of cruel that they haven't disclosed to them who they really are, but at the same time, like when they do find out, that revelation is going to be so good, like even
Well,
for us as
Yeah.
her ring didn't want her to hear yet, too. That was interesting.
Yeah,
that's true. Yes, Signa did try to tell her. Mhm.
that was
Yeah.
interesting
So she
actually.
did try
Mhm.
because like it sounded like Sigma molded over and probably came to the conclusion like this is cruel, and so she was gonna tell her,
Yeah,
and then no dice.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. Now that I'm talking about it, I really wish that I was living Signa's story right now. What is going on over there? Damn it!
Okay, like Signa, you do
Like
you.
pretty much,
I
Yeah,
want
pretty
you
much,
this story.
pretty much, pretty
Signa
much.
got what she wanted.
I think what this how it needs to be is there needs to be that trilogy, and then this is the Nesta spinoff, and it would be perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
And I like if it was like sold like that, but like to me, like that, like as a third part to this trilogy, it feels super weird to me that this is like not even like the same tone or style of book. It's still quite good, like it's and you know, but it's like it does just it just feels different.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
A
I
different
also think
genre,
it's funny
basically.
how Blythe. Sorry, I always think I feel like I think it's funny how Blythe always talks like subtle shit about Signa about like that bitch never blinks. She's so weird. She talks to spirits.
I don't think it's malicious though. I think it's
No,
just
I
an
know. I know she means
observation.
like with love. It's just so funny how
Yeah,
she always brings up like Signa's oddities.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, just right. Yeah, especially I think like when she saw death or something about death, she was like, "Oh man, no wonder they're both freaking weird." I forgot what she said, but it was like
Yeah,
something to that
yeah.
Yeah,
effect.
that's what she's. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
She's like, oh, I get it now. They both don't blink.
That's funny.
Yeah,
What else?
I don't really have
Not
anything else.
much.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
love how Blythe is a little bit high maintenance, only because I think I don't know. I like how Blythe is high maintenance in her own way. Also, can we talk about how that man left her literally a stone slate as her bed? Like he really has it out for her.
I
Like that
kind
man
of
has
like
it out for her.
I'm actually curious about that because he like defended it for some reason, and I wonder if there's some like meaning behind it, or like I don't know, because it's or you know what I'm saying? Because I thought it was odd that he like I think he said like it's I think he said like it's not a sacrificial altar, you infernal girl, like almost like he
Yeah,
thought something of it, but he didn't like expand. So I wonder if there's something there, but
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
I also thought it was funny how she was like, you know what? I can't even fucking blame him because if I had that power, I'd do the exact same shit to him.
yeah. They are
Oh
so
yeah,
well
that's
suited.
true.
They are well suited.
Yeah.
I think where they're going, and this is still like very cliche and tropey and doesn't excite me at all, but it makes sense for what this is supposed to be. I think the purpose of the ring thing is that they want the ring wants them to fall in love with each other outside of knowing who they really are. And then when that
Fated
reveals, it's gonna
destinies.
be. Is that what that
Okay.
gayness means? Yes. Then it wants to go fated destinies here. whatever that means.
It's
Bingo.
giving mates without being mates. So
Right.
Yeah.
Which is
the
like pretty I
destiny.
think like pretty common in these books. So it's not
Yeah.
just yeah. So it's not just because of that. So I think that's
What
where the
are
ring's
there
going.
are there any other like characters you think? It's life, death, fate. Is destiny and fate the same thing? Yeah, right.
Oh, so yeah, to that point. So there's death and life, and the three of them. And now Signa, she's like this weird new addition. But then again, they also like during the wedding ceremony, they mention God. So of course, there is a higher power to this
Hmm.
world that they're living in,
Okay.
which
I
is.
didn't think about that.
Well, I don't want to say it's a weird addition, but I thought that these two were like the people who controlled everything. That's the sense that I got, fate and death. But now that God was mentioned, I'm like, okay, so there's a higher plane to this. So these two are just beneath them then. You know,
I wonder if God was just mentioned much like everything is mentioned in this like Victoria era. Like it's just like a staple of like because I wonder if in the author's mind this really is just happening in our world 300 years, how many years ago was
uh,
was all that
yeah,
stuff.
that's why she mentioned the plague too, right? Yeah, okay.
Right. And so maybe it's just the god that English people would be serving, which is
Mm,
pretty much the Christian god, but it's not that it actually
yeah,
has anything to do with the book. But that would be
yeah,
interesting if it had something to do with it. That would be kind of cool.
yeah.
I wonder if there's something else, right? Because if death is not controlling the oath and fate is not controlling the oath of their wedding, who is? Like who puts the
Mm,
parameters around it?
destiny.
Oh, I
Destiny,
see what you're saying. Like who's
chaos.
giving the ring the
Ooh,
power, and like
yeah.
Yeah,
who's
like
governing that
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. I feel like maybe there's like something else. I don't know. Oh my god, I'm about to ruin this person. This person's about to ruin me. Yeah, I don't know. Like what So that's what I was saying. Like fate, destiny, life, death. Like what else? Like what's another like trope? Chaos. What else? Like
Chaos
what I'm
would be
saying? Like
so interesting
And
if like
like
she expands the story.
and then would the idea be that are we still just saw I mean at this point I guess Signa really I don't really know. I feel Signa has to come back. There's no way that she's just gone. To what degree it's hard to say, but like now that she's been so minimized, whatever thoughts that I had or whatever inklings I had about her being anything more than just another Reaper probably are false. So she probably just is just another Reaper. Even though to me that doesn't really make as much sense lore wise now. Because I still thought it would have been interesting if she was something else, but hmm, yeah,
I guess
they
we'll
I,
never
I
know.
I I feel like they don't have time to introduce like a whole ass other entity. So I'm almost I don't know how I would feel about
yeah.
that. Like it would be
But
interesting,
I
but it would feel
I just
rushed.
wonder I just wonder like how the ring works. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if fate obviously did not make those parameters and Blythe didn't either, like how did that work? Like who the fuck is decided like nobody can talk about it? Do you know what I'm saying? Who
yeah,
decided that he has to carry her over the altar? Because I wouldn't imagine that fate wanted to do any of that. Ain't nobody gonna let your
yeah.
fucking bitch ass in, you stupid fucking Tesla.
Oh, I thought you were talking about someone in the book for a moment there.
No. And these people will like literally camp there and wait. So I have to get on the toll road, right? But what happens is that people like to cut at the very front of the toll road. And I don't let people in because fuck you. I
Oh,
waited
you
this long
you
ass
mean at
fucking
you mean at the
line.
bottom of the 241?
Yeah, yeah, and I used to be in that one and I used to have the same fucking thought about it, but now I'm on the 55 to the 91.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
people will just cut at the very front of the line and I say, "Fuck you."
At the on the 241, I do the cutting every time. Sorry, I'm one of those guys, and I'm
What?
like
Darren!
super good at it. Like it's just clean every time. Like
I
not
hate you
even
so much.
yeah. I like see from
Darren.
like a half mile off like where the break is gonna be, and I get there, and it's just clean, bro. Like
I mean,
I
I
wouldn't even
applaud
call it
you,
a
but
cutoff. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it's a
It's nerve
tough.
wracking, especially because the stakes are high. If you screw that up,
The stakes are high
you've
because
added
I've
like 30
tried and I'm
minutes to
like,
your. Yeah, it's
yeah.
bad. It's bad.
And I'm like, fuck, what if I miss? That's why I don't do it because I'm scared I'm going to hit a person like me. But there is always gaps. I will say there was always gaps, but I just don't have it in me
Yeah,
because I get
yeah.
nervous. And I
I
will not let
fully do
people
that.
in because you can go fuck yourself and wait in line like the rest of us peasants.
And then you know what's
Anyway.
interesting? I actually look for the Julias because that's the key. The Julias are the key because when you are being like weird, basically like almost like weird about the following, you end up causing gaps around you, weirdly enough. And so like I
Behind
won't
me,
cut in
maybe.
yeah, I won't cut in front of like I won't cut in front of you, but it'll be like one of in front of you or one behind you, like gaps will form. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, there always is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I always, if I ever do cut, I always cut where people have a gap and they usually keep a gap.
Right.
So,
Right. Because you got
yeah.
those people that are just sort of, yeah.
Lollygagging.
Mm.
Anyways, sorry guys. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, I'm just wondering who controlled the parameters around that oath because I can't imagine. But who knows? Maybe it's just like something weird. Maybe it is fate, but who knows?
I don't know. Now that you're mentioning it, what I don't want to see is like it have anything to do with Life's ghost or somehow Blythe is doing it unwittingly. I think that would be like pretty lame. I want it to be a more but
Mm,
now that I'm
like
saying that,
subconsciously?
I could see that being it, and I think that that's going to be like a really lame explanation. I hope it's not it, but I could sort of see that. I could see it being it.
But there can't be the ghost of Blythe, right? Because, or life, rather, because Blythe is life.
I
So,
hope not. Yeah, right.
yeah.
My question to you guys is, sorry, go ahead, Darren.
No, I mean I just agree. I'm just thinking like maybe it's like her subconscious or some bull crap. I agree. I hope it's not that because I think it's a lame explanation, but I could see it going there
Yeah.
anyway.
Okay, so my question is, was Blythe always life? Or did, because she died and came back so many times, the reincarnation of life was just floating around? She's like, oh, this looks like a good one.
That's a
Uh,
good question
Because
because
you're
she
never
technically,
silver in the tapestry.
yeah, she died like two or
3
three
times.
times, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's possible.
Do you know? I don't know.
yeah, basically life's deeper lore is like one of the main things that I'm looking forward to learning
Yeah.
still because that's the one she's the one that's we know like a little bit like she can make vines but it's not like we don't know like enough about what goes on there. Um,
Yeah.
But
the way
also, do you
oh go ahead.
I back up when we who wants to go first? Okay. I also appreciate the fact that when we learned about life a little bit more and the whole scene about death taking her, they mentioned like if she doesn't go willingly, if she goes and it's like traumatic or whatever, it's gonna be so harder for her to get her memories back and like remember and like have like come back into that. So that could explain it, but I don't know.
Mm, hmm.
Mhm. Um,
You
so do you guys remember at the start of book 2, it started off with Faith's POV and he was talking about him sewing the threads of destiny or
Yeah, that's
whatever.
right. That was cool.
And he mentioned two, right? Like two people whose fates he was not able to change or whatever, or whose fates were already altered and he had no control over it. So I thought, okay, first was Signa and the second had to be Blythe. So I was wondering maybe she was always like that. I don't know. But I just remembered that part from book 2 where he was talking about two people.
mm, mm. Also, so was it fate? I guess this makes sense. Like I always thought that fate came in here and accused Elijah just to piss off death, but was it fate's fate to do that so that he can end up with Blythe?
I think it is because
Mm.
Death said that. Well, he kind of implied that fate will find its way even for fate, right? So, like, it works out all in the end. So, even though it
Yeah.
was a twisted path that he and Blythe should be together eventually happened. So, it makes sense, which means there is something beyond fate. So, he's not all powerful like we were meant to
Yeah.
believe. Because why can't he control his own fate then if he is powerful?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
my personal guess, outside of like my fake guesses that I hope is not what I actually guess is that it is just these three. What I think the rings are basically like a manifestation of fate's power, and it has something to do with the fact that like even him, once he makes one of these like textile contracts, you know, the tapestry things,
Mm-hmm.
that even for him it's like outside of his control, like his powerful his power is so strong that once that's sealed, even he can't change it, because I feel like that would
So
sort of explain it, but yeah.
that would mean that death would someday come for death too, something like that.
Oh no.
Although death has never been alive, right? So
That's true.
he can't die, so
It's
yeah, he's
just
good.
dead.
He just is.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet is just Timothy Chalamet.
What I
Did
will
you guys
say,
see
and like,
that?
you go ahead, you go ahead.
No, there was a Timothy Chalamet lookalike competition a few weeks and he
I
attended,
just showed up.
but he didn't
Oh,
win.
that was so funny. Yeah, I know.
Really? Oh my gosh. Have you guys seen his like his math video from when he was in high school?
No.
Oh my
Yeah, that
gosh.
no, actually.
I'll
Is it when he was in theater?
I mean, he in general he's like a good singer, so I think there's like a lot of things floating around, but this one in particular, I think you'd remember it. Have you ever had any of those? Did you ever have any of those classes in like high school, middle school, or whatever, where like as like extra credit, you know, you can make like a Spanish video or something like that?
Yeah.
This is basically one of those, but it was for uh I think statistics. Oh, it is statistics because that's in the song. You'll just have to watch this afterwards. It's pretty entertaining. It's like it's like a catchy song, and just seeing him so young is like super weird. It's cool.
That's funny. I don't know. Sometimes I think about actors and like theater kids, and I'm like, all actors have to be fucking weird because all theater kids are actors.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I have a feeling like especially for the great ones, they have to be kind of weird.
Yeah,
Um I don't think you're just yeah, I think to be like that good at acting, like you've got to be like a little bit of a strange cat. At least a lot of them.
a little bit kooky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's like probably what makes them great. That's true with like a lot like a lot
and
of artistic professions really. Like the
oh, for
geniuses are
sure,
pretty
for
troubled and
sure.
weird. Yeah. Alrighty, is it time to read more?
I think
It's
it
time.
is. It's time.
It is time.
It is time.
It is time.